What do we have here? Welcome everybody to my new Let's Play. Clever. You know, just a little bit of a different type of game compared to, BIOSHOCK. Just a bit different. But yeah, this is a late 90s platformer of sorts. It's one that I'm not sure how popular it is nowadays, but it was somewhat known. It was somewhat popular at the time. So yeah. Now, there are a bunch of different modes, most of which don't really matter in any real way. And they're exactly what they look like. Practice mode is practicing in a practice level. Yeah, I made some slight adjustments to the audio in-game. Normally I try to put it down a bit. It was kind of quiet. So let's fix that. Yeah, that's a bit better. So let's go to start menu, and I did have a little practice file of sorts. Just a very quick one. Just so I could, see how well this would work. So let's do a new game in this file. And because this is a Let's Play, I can only think of one thing to call it. I said I can only think of one thing to call it. There we go. Now there's easy and normal mode. Very quickly, normal mode, easy mode gives you an ability to more easily find the collectibles of this game, but it means you can't unlock the bonus levels. So we're gonna do normal. Hi, my name is Mr. Tip. If you want any chance... I'm not doing that voice or this, yeah, this is just a little hat dude to try to help you. Press the button to talk to him. we're gonna just check around this place. It's a bit more gloomy than you'd expect the beginning of a 90s platformer to be. It's like this kind of creepy laugh over this dark and foggy gray world. And this strange creature sitting on a swing. It's a chicken. I wonder if that's what happened to Alfred Chicken. Been forgotten and he's just left here on the swing. So yeah, gonna walk around this. Like, if I'm completely honest, when I was a kid, this was actually kind of creepy to me. Just because this is a cute little platformer, then the world just became awful and terrible. Like it's the second half of Ocarina of Time. Like, the music's not even catchy, it's just like dark, droning, atmospheric thing. So yeah, if we hold the B button, Glover will point to where the ball is that we're supposed to find. Because he turned those crystals at the top of the castle into a ball. Which is, I guess, is one way to prevent them from breaking. So yeah, that wall is the entrance to the practice area. We could go in and showcase all the abilities, but I'm gonna do that anyway, so I don't see the point. Might show it in a bonus video, might not. Yeah, and that just tells you what to do with the balls. Take them to a cave. No, I think I will probably showcase the practice video in a bonus... practice level in the bonus video. Just so I can show everything. And I do more or less plan to show everything, even though it won't quite be a 100% run. You'll see why in a bit. Yeah, we can also press the B button like that repeatedly, and you can bounce it like it's a basketball. Yeah, so turned into a crystal, went into that hole surrounding this fountain. What's the middle of it is now the wizard turned into stone, poor guy. Yeah, it's a platformer, you can do a kind of double jump. And for some reason Glover's eyes turned into purple. That's not supposed to happen. And you can use the C buttons on the N64 controller. Though, spoiler alert, I'm not playing this on the N64. But on the N64 controller, or whatever the equivalent is on whatever you're playing it on, you can control the camera. C up does, gets you go in the first person view. C left and right move the camera, and C down changes how far away the camera is from the character. Very typical 90s 3D platformer stuff. So what do you expect? So after this, we have to find out where to go next. Where we need to go is into this temple-looking area. There was a rainbow-colored force field in front of it, but now it seems to be gone. So we can enter inside. Yes, and this is the level select room, cave place for this world. Yeah, that just tells us how to get to the bonus world. And again, press holding B, even in this place, tells you where to go. Which obviously means we have to go into the one area we can go into. Level 1. Welcome to Atlantis. Bit more triangular than I would have expected it to be. Like, oh god, what is wrong with those waterfalls? Balls that way, but before we even do that, before we even go into land, there's this little ball icon over here with the thing spinning around it. Collect it, you get 500 points and a 1-up. So yeah, this is actually a very useful tip, which I'm just gonna collect most of these tips just because he turns gray, so it shows you talked to him, and thus you did the thing, and my OCD demands that I talk to him everywhere. So, cool thing about this game is that you have these little collectibles, the Garibs. Collect one, you get 10 points, but if you collect them quickly enough before the number from the previous one goes away, you get a combo of them until they get bigger and bigger points, maxing out at 100. However, it maxes up to 500 if you use the ball. You collect it while holding the ball. First enemy here is Shark. He's more or less invincible. So we're just gonna avoid him. And yeah, this tells us that we can transform the ball! Though I guess we're not gonna do that yet. Bounce for a bit and try to get the momentum to get over here. Just a couple of simple platforms bobbing up and down in the water. So I don't want to waste my time getting these with the ball. So I'm gonna get them as clever. Then make our way forward. Obviously we want to get all 50 in this stage, as you might imagine. And get lots of points. That is a very cool way to make getting collectibles more interesting, is adding like an almost like something resembling like a combo meter to it. And this tells us about one of our main attacks, which is the Fist Slam. Press A and Z in the air. Like, no, sorry. If you jump in the air with A, and then press Z, this will happen. Turn into a fist and destroy the enemy. It's exactly the same as like a ground pounder in Mario or in any other, 3D platformer. And that just tells us that we can break objects with cracks in them like those blocks. And this weird ramble thing is that if we put the ball into it, in pretty much any way, even if we're separate from it, if the ball goes through that thing, it's a checkpoint and it'll activate. Now here's the most obscure part of this level. Not all the collectibles are easy to figure out. So, for this one, we have to get them from destroying this pillar by jumping into it in that way. Yeah, very odd. There's a little crack that gives you like a little bit of a hint, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to figure out in level 1. And also, the hit detection isn't the best, so you can technically be able to get to collectibles before knocking down the pillar. Now, if you hold the B button, you can stay still and then throw the ball. It'll show a little thing showing where it'll be thrown. In order to get you to other places. by the end of the level, you will realize that you do need to take the ball with you for the whole journey. Gonna avoid these magic jumping fish. I'm not sure why they're magic, maybe because they're giant eyes. Just keep throwing the ball. It's very nice that it shows you where it's gonna land. Now we hit that that switch. There's a star on it. That means you should do a fist slam, the ground pound equivalent, to open it, or to do whatever it does. That one opened that door to the exit. Before we do that, we have one or more things to check out. Now I wanted to point out this weird little thing. If you go into the water that isn't super shallow, and this one barely counts, but it's just deep enough, you'll automatically roll on top of the ball. And it causes you to move around like this, and the weird part about it is that your controls are reversed this way. You go left and right the same, but up and down are reversed. Though I think it's normal controls on easy mode. Now, what I was trying to do is get on top of it, which you can do if you jump on it in the right way. To try to get these collectibles. Now, you don't really need to do it this way. For whatever reason, I just assumed I did. And it was just stupid. I didn't really need to show off that part of the game yet. I did just to get the collectibles, and I didn't need to do it this way. Instead, let's just throw the ball. The ball, thankfully, can also collect the collectibles. So that's nice of it. Yeah, if we're with the ball and go to that little portal at the end of the level, it will end the level. And you can only do it that way. You can't go into the portal by yourself. You have to be with the ball, holding it like this. So yeah, we've done all we can in this level, more or less, so let's exit.
Yes!
We did it! Now, unfortunately, the biggest thing that glitched out on this, very quickly, there's supposed to be like a level ending screen that tells you that you got this many collectibles and what your time was. But it completely glitches out in a very annoying way. So I couldn't properly show that, unfortunately. So I just had to skip to the next level. It does automatically take you to the next level. Yeah, so on level 2 of Atlantis, we have this weird area. And unfortunately, the visual pit detection, or whatever it is, but on the simulator I'm playing, it's showing these scarabs here when you shouldn't be able to see them in these spots. So I guess that helps in a way. And again, we don't want to get away, weird blonde-haired shark. Why are you walking on land? Okay, there we go. Press the R button while holding the ball. You can transform the ball into different things. One of which is a bowling ball. It's much heavier, makes you go slower. But it's also kind of powerful. For example, you can hit it at enemies. And for that one at least, it stuns it. Or they can hit it through cracked walls like that. You can also turn it into a little marble.
Shazam!
and into the crystal form. And this one's very interesting. Because if you go through Garibs, it adds a ×2 point bonus to everything. And I believe every 10,000 points also gives you a 1-up. As you can already see, we have 10 lives. So we're doing pretty good. There's one last Garib on this little mini pyramid, and if you destroy it, there's another 1-up. Yeah, this is not the most difficult game, so they'll give up plenty of lives for you, especially early on. Lives are not hard to come by. The one thing I do really like about this game is the music. It's very much like weird late 90s video game music, but I like the slightly atmospheric synth sound, I guess. To this, it sounds different from like other video game soundtracks at the time. It's not like, you know, pseudo instruments or like, you know, wacky fun video game music necessarily, at least in this level. It's a bit slower. Like in its own goofy way, trying to showcase like this being some like lost civilization. Though I swear this part here sounds like the whistle that'd be in like a western. Which I'm not sure that fits Atlantis. Though to be fair, I'm not familiar with Atlantean music. Now if you destroy that block, it drains the water, which goes into this thing, which causes this platform to go up and down. One of those things I got stuck on as a kid. I did not realize I had to destroy that thing, even though it was a cracked wall. But it's like, I guess, a different type of cracked wall. Unfortunately, we fell down. Unfortunately, you can't really do much of the bounciness with, like, you know, a large, like, thing like that. So instead, we might as well just do this. Yeah, also, by the way, bowling ball and the marble are not buoyant. Buoyant? No, it's buoyant, right? Yeah, basically they sink. Unlike the crystal and the normal ball. That's important to remember. And there's these strange creatures. They're like wind-up toys, almost. Can kill them pretty easily. And they drop more Garibs. Yeah, even though it's inevitable, I do realize this first episode is pretty explainy. But there is quite a few things to explain. There's a bit more to it than being a basic platformer. And that's one of the reasons I want to play this game, because I kind of feel like it's gotten a bad reputation as like this super dated, stupid platformer that's just kind of a joke nowadays. Like, I remember Glover, that dumb game from N64. Why did we play that? And I kind of get it, it's a very flawed game. But I feel like there's enough to it to make it like a worthwhile entry in the like late 90s 3D platformer era, and I lost the ball. Save yourself, ball! If the ball goes into the pit, you do lose a life. By the way, you might have noticed, I lost the ball because I went down too quickly with the ball. Oh god! Yeah. So, don't let anything hit the crystal or it'll instantly be destroyed. That's not the same with the normal ball, though, as I hopefully will be able to showcase. Now the normal ball can take a couple of hits. There's even a little band-aid on it to block up where that air would come from, trying to deflate it. That's a cute touch. Anyway, these balls can also be destroyed. So what I was saying before is that the momentum from rolling down a hill or some other thing can be, like, severe enough that you can actually lose the ball. It's not usually too much of a nuisance, but you do have to be a bit careful as it takes into account that you wouldn't be able to always hold on to it. Whether this is cool or really annoying is, you know, your mileage may vary. So here's like a little music thing. There's a switch with the icon that's on the regular ball, and if you put the ball on it, any form of the ball, thankfully, he'll do whatever the switch does. This case, open that door. They do open a lot of doors, but they do other things, these switches. However, if you press this switch with the fist slam, it drains the water. So, like, this is like the world's least interesting sequence break, I guess. Since technically, I guess we're supposed to not know we could have the ball sink like that, and we're supposed to just drain the water. Another checkpoint. Get all those combo points. There's a bit of, you know, risk and reward as well, especially in later levels, to try to get more points, which I do think is pretty clever. In most games, you just collect the collectibles. More often than not, you can be as careful as you want, unless it's, you know, a specific challenge that goes against that. Or it's like, you know, the main collectible, like, you know, the stars in Mario 64. Now this is a potion. There are a number of these in the game, and this one turns us into giant Clever. Too much glove to handle. This lets us push this giant thing that thankfully has arrows conveniently telling us where to push it. This wall, which will let us very easily traverse to the exit portal. But as you can tell, we haven't gotten all the Garibs yet. So we're gonna get the potion again. You can actually kind of outrun it for a bit, which is funny. So first of all, I did the fish slam, which lets us jump higher on top of the ball, and since we were big enough, we could also jump up here. But because, unfortunately, we also have fall damage. So many things to explain. Okay, but yeah, we reached the end of the level, I guess. And that's it for episode 1 of Glover. I hope you enjoy it. This is not a super long game, thankfully. It's just a fun platformer I have a lot of nostalgia for. And I hope it can showcase it in, like, an interesting way. Because I think most people just play it purely as just a fun nostalgia game with no thought. Or they just kind of make fun of it as being this super dated game. If they even care about it at all anymore. But I think I have something interesting to say about it. So this should be fun enough. See you next time for the rest of this